The April 2024 release includes the last two tabs of the Leganto Student Usage Dashboard. The dashboard is designed to help you view usage information at a glance, with options to filter reports and drill down to see additional details as needed. I'll walk through it. You can access the dashboard by going to Analytics, Access Analytics. Go to Catalog, Shared Folders, Leganto, Data Visualization. It's this Leganto Usage Dashboard. I'll walk through all of the reports in this dashboard. For each page, there's also the option to export the data in the dashboard in different formats. The first tab provides a usage overview. It shows information about reading lists that exist, as well as lists that have been used by students. For example, in the first few boxes, we can see that my institution had 1,676 reading lists, 1,607 of them were published, and 1,438 of them were used by students. Going through this tab in more detail, we can also see the number of active students, which is the number of unique students who access Leganto for the courses specified. In this case, the course year 2023. The year is coming from the Alma course record. Below that, we can see the number of courses with reading lists and the number of courses that were accessed by students. We can also see the number of citations on reading lists and the percentage of citations that are covered by the library collections. This includes citations that are attached to an MMS ID or where the links in availability includes an Alma link resolver URL. It can give you an indication of how much of the materials used in courses are provided by the library. You can see the filter showing me that we're currently looking at 2023 data. I can change this to 2024. There's also options to filter to a specific course term, a specific processing department, or a specific academic department. Because this dashboard includes data from two different analytics subject areas, course reserves and Leganto student usage, the filters are per box, so remember to change them in each of the boxes you're interested in. The next tab is the list usage overview. This shows us active reading lists broken down in different ways. Active reading lists are lists that have been used by students in the time frame specified, in this case, the current academic year. This first graph shows the usage by academic department. Below that, we can see the active reading list per month and the top 5 academic departments. If you want to change this to see a different number of departments, just click on the filter and change it. And if you want to see a different date range, just click on the date filter. Here, we'll change this to see the current year instead. If you want to see more details about a specific academic department, right-click on it and choose Detailed List Usage. Now we've moved to the next tab of the dashboard, the Detailed List Usage tab. In this case, we're filtered to the academic department that I selected from the previous screen. Now we can see the different courses in that academic department and the details of the usage for those courses, including the number of participants, which will only show if you're entering this information on the Alma course record, the number of active students, which is the number of students who engaged in the list in any way, the percentage of active students, which is a calculation based on these two measurements. We can also see the total events, which is the total student activity on the list, the number of list views, which is the number of times a list was viewed by students. In this case, the list was viewed twice by one student. You can see how many citations students viewed, as well as the total number. In this case, we can see that 2 citations were viewed a total of 4 times. You can also see the number of full text views and the students who viewed full text. Here we have 1 student who viewed the full text 4 times. And finally, we can see the percentage of the students enrolled in the course who viewed the full text. This calculation is based on the number of participants. If you want to see all departments or a different department, you can simply change the filter, and there's also the option to change the date filter here. You can also sort these columns differently if needed. For example, maybe I want to see the list with the most activity. I can sort by the total events here. Here's an example where we do have number of participants on the course record, so we can see the percentage of active students on the list and also the percentage that viewed the full text of the resources. Just like on the previous tab, I can also drill down to see more information. You can right-click on a course and click on Citation Usage. Now we're on the next tab, Citation Usage, filtered to this specific course. Here we can see the usage details for the citations on this list. For each item, we can see the title, author, material type, and tags. Then we can see different aspects related to the usage of the item. How many students have had any activity on that item. We can also see the total events. In this case, we can see that students returned to this item several times throughout the date range. In analytics in general, the measurements that start with student indicate that we're measuring unique students who did something. The measurements that start with number indicate that we're measuring the total number of times something was done. Here we have the number of unique students who opened the full view of a citation, as well as the total number of citation views. We can also see the number of unique students who clicked through to the full text and the total full text views. In other words, 298 students accessed the full text for this item a total of 3,804 times, meaning they returned to it throughout the course. If there is a file on the citation, you can also see information about downloads. And if the item is a physical item, you can see how many times it was loaned during the course dates. And finally, you can see the number of students who marked the citation as done in Leganto. If you want to see information for a different course, you can change the filters, or you can return to the previous tab and drill down to a different course. If you want to see information across courses, for example, to see what the items were with the most usage overall, you can remove these course filters. Here we can see citations across all reading lists, and again, you can sort it. So if I want to see the items that are most used in different categories, for example, I can see that. Now let's look at the next tab, Weekly Usage. This shows us information per week, with a default of the current academic year. We can see the active students and the active list per week. And scrolling down, we can also see them broken apart. Again, you can filter to a specific academic department or change the date filter. And finally, we have the year-over-year usage. This shows you how student activity in Leganto is changing over time. First, we can see summary information per year, including the active students, active courses, reading lists, and citations, which is again courses, reading lists, and citations which were used by students that year. You can also see the total number of full-text views per year. There's also a usage forecast, which predicts growth for the upcoming year and beyond for the number of active students and the number of active courses. And down below, we can see the number of active students per month plotted year over year to give you an idea of the overall growth in the student usage of Leganto. For this dashboard, if you want to change the year or the years that are included, you can simply click on the filter. Again, all the tabs of this dashboard are available to all customers with the April 2024 release.